Okay, let's go.
Hello, Los Angeles. Hello, fans of Major League Soccer and Liga MX. Hello, lovers of the beautiful game. And of course, hello to our beloved millions
and millions
of defenders of the bank listeners. This is the Getting to Know Your Opponent show, Leagues Cup edition, highlighting Monterrey, a.k.a. Rayados, a.k.a. La Pandilla, a.k.a. Los Albiazules, a.k.a. La Aplandora. Hopefully I got all of that right. My name is Christian Philemon, a.k.a. Philly, the platinum-colored haired flamingo. And now thanks to our buddy Relentless Ben, he suggested I have a couple of new aliases. I'll let you choose, defenders. It could be the purveyor of peroxide, the sultan of salons, or the model of mohawks. I don't know. The choice is yours, but I'm certainly leaning more towards the purveyor of peroxide. Thank you, Relentless Ben. And of course, joining me, a man who needs no introductions because he's named after what he has behind his back. The King of Knits, a.k.a. the Warlock of Wool, a.k.a. the Bishop of Bufanda, J.R. Liebert, a.k.a. the
Scarf. I like the Bishop of Bufandas. I like that's a new one, and I like it. I may run with that for a little bit. We got the Leagues Cup scarf in the background because, of course, 11 goals later, we are at our third Leagues Cup match of the first Leagues Cup in MLS Liga MX history. And man, I feel like every time we do one of these getting to know you opponents, it's a Monterrey opponent. This time it's Club de Football Monterrey, not Monterey Bay FC from up in Northern California. And this Monterrey, vastly different and much better than the last Monterrey we highlighted on one of these, Philly. This is probably the best club in Liga MX right now. And with Club America out of the tournament, I think they're the favorite of Liga MX of the couple of clubs that are still around.
It is only appropriate that on the eve of the Monterrey match, I am drinking one of the greatest resources from Monterrey, in that of Topo Chico. I love Topo Chico. It's helped me excel in these 97 days of sobriety, soon to be 100. I love it. The city of Monterrey is beautiful. And yeah, they're going to be our toughest opponent, but potentially all season long, Scarf. This is a very, very good team. And you can go back and forth between who's tougher, them, Tigres, Club America. Obviously, there's a lot of talented teams in Liga MX, but like you said, the only one left that's extremely talented and somebody to worry about is our opponent, and it's not going to be an easy match tomorrow night.
Yeah, look, this is a fun club, though, right? I think, first of all, thank you to Producer Panda for putting all the slides together for this one. And look, Monterrey, they have quickly become one of the foremost clubs in Liga MX. They have got the hardware to prove it, including back to back, I believe, right?
Champions. 2011, 2012, 2013. Not too shabby. Man. And 2019 and 2021.
Oh, yeah. No, look, they've got 5 of these already hanging on their wall, so this is going to be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, Philly, in order to attend the match, we got to go with that little old lady from Pasadena and get out to the Rose Bowl. And look, I want to say this to all of our millions
and millions.
The people that are part of the ticketing department at LAFC, this has been a nightmare for the last couple of days, because how do you go? I feel like Will Smith when he was talking to, oh God, what's the other actor's name in Men in Black? Why am I blanking on his name?
Tommy Lee Jones.
Thank you. Tommy Lee Jones. When Will Smith was talking to Tommy Lee Jones, new hotness, old and busted. New hotness, old and busted. Well, we have BMO. Oh, we got to put $5 in the jar. BMO Stadium, which is the new hotness, or even SoFi, which is like the new hotness. And you got the Rose Bowl, old and busted. So they're trying to take all of our club amenities and all of the new kind of fun stuff that we've got at BMO and now somehow find the comparable value and seats at Rose Bowl. Philly, I know they're doing the best they can, but you're like 17 sections over me, and normally you just sit 2 rows behind me and over a couple of seats.
Well, that's kind of a lie because you and I are going to be right next to each other in the press box.
Well,
in
that's
air
true.
conditioning, might I
But where
add.
our seats were located. But
Well, yeah, look, it is a Herculean task to have to do what they have to do. And there's
Yeah.
a couple of reasons why some of the other venues weren't chosen. BMO Stadium is going to be hosting a concert, and it's a concert that's going to bring in a great deal of revenue to the owners of BMO Stadium, and it is something that's been on the calendar for a long time. A lot harder to reschedule that. So look, I get it. From a business perspective, you got to do what you got to do. The Coliseum, the same night would have been a poop show, for lack of a better term. So that was out of the question. SoFi is hosting an NFL preseason game on Saturday, so it would be virtually impossible to go from turf to grass and back to turf within the course of a 24-hour period. And the only other option is to play at Dignity Health Sports Park. And quite honestly, I'm pretty sure we would rather play in a field outside of the Y than have to have anything to deal with that stadium. So it is what it is. Again, I don't envy the account execs and the people that are in charge of the premium seats, the North End, or any of this. They were placed with a task of having to deal with something they probably wouldn't have wanted to do. And look, there's going to be people that are unhappy, people that are going to be pleasantly surprised. But, we roll with the punches, and it is what it is.
All right, so let's get to know this club, Club de Football Monterrey, CF Monterrey. Look, this is going to be a lot of fun. We're in the quarterfinals, Philly. There's 8 clubs left, and Monterrey, you can see the now I don't remember. Do the 5 stars underneath?
I got you. I got you, brother.
I think there's one more slide.
Hang on. I got you.
Well, but there's the slide that Panda put together. I'm trying to cue her wonderful slide that she.
Oh, I don't know if it was like in reference to even this.
Oh, yeah, look. See, here you go. Monterrey has won 5 league. Oh, go back. Where'd it go? It went. There was the other one, the one I was reading from. Help. There it is. Monterrey has won 5 league titles, 3 domestic cups, and 5 CONCACAF Champions League titles. I thought it said something on the bottom, but maybe I was wrong in reading from the
No, you're right. So on the top is the 5 league titles. The 5 stars on the bottom is the Continental, which is CONCACAF 11, 12, 13, 19, and 21. Hence the 5 stars. Domestic on top, international / Continental on the bottom.
Got it. Yeah, that's a reminder to everybody that they've come up quickly. This is definitely going to be the hardest match that we have played this season. Look, they are the oldest professional team in northern Mexico, been around since the 40s. This is a club that goes way, 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 way back. But I think the coolest thing about them is who they're owned by right now. They're owned by FEMSA. And look, if you have ever been to Mexico or, I don't know, most of the other Central American countries out there, and you've been to an OXXO, you know FEMSA. They are the ones that own OXXO. They also, oh, by the way, own the largest independent Coca-Cola bottling group in the world. That's kind of a thing. And I love when companies this big, Philly, can trade massive equity like they do. They traded Cuauhtémoc Moctezuma Brewing for a 20% share in Heineken. Now the people that brew what the beers that they brew in Cuauhtémoc, Dos Equis, Sol, Tecate, Bohemia. We heard of all.
Oh, I love Bohemia.
Yeah, I like Bohemia. Out of all those, I'll take a Bohemia. Sol is not bad either. But when you can trade Cuauhtémoc Moctezuma Brewing for 20% of Heineken, they're the 5th largest company in Mexico, Philly, the 5th largest. But they own the Mexican 7-Eleven. They own OXXO, which is awesome. OXXO is great. Love OXXO.
I mean, the business structure and capabilities that owners can have in Liga MX is interesting. It's far more interesting than what it is here in the United States. The fact that people that want to invest in a football club, the fact that they would rather go to the Premier League and buy a team and not start one in Major League Soccer because it's so absurdly expensive to do so blows my mind. Blows my mind. The Vegas team didn't happen because that group decided to buy Bournemouth. Blows my mind. But yeah, corporations own things. Obviously, Club America is owned in that sense. They're owners that own multiple teams throughout the course of Asensio and obviously Liga MX. So interesting business structures, and oh, how nice it must be to have a little money in your pocket. After all these games, I don't have any money in my pocket.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness. We got debited. Oh wait, we got debited today, right? For those, I think it was supposed to.
Oh yeah, approximately 3:26 p.m. is when my card gave me an alert.
Yeah, that's about right. So, all right, let's talk more about Monterrey, CF Monterrey. Let's move to the next slide because I love these ones that Panda created here. They are widely known as the Rayados, and that's the striped ones. And you can see, I mean, look, that beautiful crest of theirs. That's a solid Liga MX crest.
I like
right
it.
there. It's definitely no LAFC crest, but that is a solid Liga MX crest. And look, when the Rayados come to town, they have a fervent supporters section. This is going to be it's going to be interesting because, Philly, I think one of the things that we also worry about when playing in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl is, are we, even though we are the number one seed, I guess, in the tournament? Can you say that? I don't know. We should
buy, so sure.
Yeah, we should, quote unquote, have home field, home pitch advantage. I don't know. I mean, look, here's what we do know, right, Philly? The 3252 will be there, and they will be loud, and they will be the most supportive section in the stadium. However, what we've seen when we play these Liga MX clubs, Philly, is that they bring the noise as well. And we saw that at BMO with Leon.
Yeah, but with Leon, yes. Not so much with FC Juarez. There weren't that many supporters from there, but then again, we can't fault them. That's a club that's only been around since 2015. Yeah, a big fan base operating out of a beautiful arena. It's going to be interesting. The logistics of this, I do know that not all of the Rose Bowl is going to be opened. There's going to be a lot of the sections that are going to be warded off. So from a optics perspective, I'm curious to see who's going to fit where, how all that's going to happen. What I do know is the supporters, the 3252, they're going to be on the same side that the Galaxy supporters were on when we had the match against the Rose Bowl. So they're going to be on that side, and then it's obviously going to be the section where, there's the section where the press box is and all the club levels, and then I think on the other side as well, if I'm not mistaken. But it's not going to be a packed house. No way.
No, they got to put people over on the other side so it looks good for the camera. That's going to be fun for us, though. Look, you and I will be in the press box, which will be a lot of fun. And right in front of the press box is where the 3252 will be. So that's going to be pretty cool. That's going to be kind of exciting. And Philly, you had mentioned it just in passing right now, but you, my friend, have had the incredible opportunity to get to Estadio BBVA in Monterrey. And look, can we go to the picture that we have of Estadio? Now look, okay. That is not photoshopped, as I understand, right, Philly? You can look right out into the big, beautiful mountains in the back.
So Panda, Jonathan Reimer, and I were in Monterrey in February to call an indoor soccer game between the Empire Strikers and the Monterrey Flash at Arena Monterrey. We woke up that morning, we had breakfast, and we wanted to do something. And obviously, you all know my love for football. I had to go see Estadio BBVA. It's pictures like this that intrigued me. When we got there, the structure itself, massive. You're walking and you see that mountainside in the back. So that's technically like where you're looking at right there. You didn't see that from the videos I showed because there's an awesome bar like on that side, but it's a newer stadium. It's ginormous. It's going to host some games during the World Cup when it comes to North America. And it was such a beautiful structure. I mean, it looked like something out of the Bundesliga or the Premier League, something brand new, but it's a gorgeous, gorgeous arena. The bar that they have there overlooking the stands and the seats, amazing. I even bought myself a Monterrey kit while I was there because I enjoyed it so much. But yeah, it's breathtaking, bro. I mean, that picture does not do it justice. That mountain range is massive.
Yeah, really, really cool. I mean, unfortunately, or I guess fortunately, we're not playing. Actually, I'd rather play there than the Rose Bowl. That's for sure. Travel take you about the same time to get into the parking lot of the Rose Bowl than it does to get to BBVA, Estadio BBVA. But either way, beautiful stadium, really cool. Let's get into this club. I'm excited to talk about this club. If we could go, there we go. Look, they're in second technically. In the Apertura right now. They have not lost a match. They have 2 wins and 1 draw on the season. But it's important to note that Monterrey has not lost since their season began July 1st. They even won a friendly with Club America right before that. But we're talking July 1st. It is now August 10th, and they have yet to lose, and they have played 7 matches in that span. Philly, the part that scares me isn't the fact that they've won 6 of their 7 matches. It's the fact that they've scored 14 goals and only given up 3. They've only given up goals in 2 matches of their first 7. This is going to be a very, very tough defense to crack.
Very tough defense to crack. An experienced team where a lot of these players have been on that club together for a while, and a lot of them with championship pedigrees. They know how to win the big games, minus that semifinals loss to Tigres, FYI. But yeah, this isn't going to be an easy thing. They're big, they're fast, they can find the back of the net, and they have plenty of tools within their starting 11 as well as their 18. Not going to be an easy contest.
No, not at all. You know, they played very well last season. Obviously, that's why they are in the position that they are in here. Look, the only two teams to finish top two in both the Clausura and the Apertura last year, Club America and Monterrey. So, look, America, they're out, and Monterrey, they're in. So it's right. Is America's out, right? I'm not crazy.
Yeah, they lost to Nashville.
Yeah, okay. Just wanted to make sure. Well, for a second there, I was like, whoa. But look, this is a club that was very, very good. But absolutely, let's get into both the players and coaches, because there is a coach that we. Oh yeah. Sorry. We got to get to how they got there. I know you're
feeling
first.
Froggy, but chill before you jump from lily pad to lily pad.
You just said let's talk about the players first. That's what you just said, but that's okay. We had mentioned they've only given up goals in 2 matches this season. Seattle being one of them. They scored twice against Monterrey, but the problem is they had a player that we are going to not talk about when we talk about him, I guess, right? We're not going to talk about Herman Betarami. But look at these lines. 3-0, 1-0, 1-0, 4-2. That's a stingy defense, Philly.
Stingy defense indeed. And I mean, they whooped up on Real Salt Lake. Not as badly as we whooped up on Real Salt Lake, though. They beat the Seattle Sounders. Portland gave them a bit of a contest, which was kind of interesting. But that match between them and Tigres, epic. Like anytime those two teams get together, I mean, that is one of the best derby matches in all of Liga MX. Always a sellout crowd, always a fiery atmosphere. And even down in Houston, it was a fiery atmosphere. And had it not been for, some shenanigans in the box where Sergio Canales gets himself his first goal and off of the PK, it might be a different tale. And while it would have been competing against Tigres and essentially have a revenge match from 2020, I'm glad we're competing against Monterrey because we're going to see Tigres anyway in the Campeones Cup in September. So as we've stated time and time again, the fun aspect about this tournament is getting to see clubs that we would otherwise never really get an opportunity to see. We'll get Tigres already, so we could start taking out one Monterrey club before we take out another one in a couple of months.
No, you're absolutely right. I was looking forward to Monterrey as well, knowing we had Tigres. But that player you mentioned, man, Sergio Canales, more about him in a bit. He is the new hotness to anybody that was old and busted on the Monterrey club before he got there. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But again, they couldn't have lost to get to this spot, and you can see them right there. Lots of quality victories, obviously shutting down Chicho Arango and we did the same thing. Yeah, that's right. Sorry. All right, let's move on to Fernando Ortiz. And look, lots of questions surrounding Fernando Ortiz. This will be his 8th, I believe, match that he has helmed for Monterrey. Used to be the manager of Club America, and look, kind of got run out of town, or maybe just decided to go to different. They say the grass is always greener on the other side. I think he only saw green grass over on the other side for Monterrey. He lost twice in a row in the semifinals in both the Clausura and the Apertura for when he was coaching Club America. And so I think, I think the Club America fans and supporters wanted him gone. And so he comes to Monterrey, and now here's his 8th game. Dude was a legend, though, as a player, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, 45 years old, so we get another young head coach for Steve Cherundolo, and he's actually 2 years older than Steve, but still, 45 years, I consider young for being the head of any kind of a club. I mean, he's a little older than me. I could finally say that for a change. But yeah, 462 matches as a professional, 24 goals, having a playing career that spanned over 16 years. That took him from Argentina, starting at Boca Juniors, to Spain, all the way to Mexico. But he never really spent more than 3 years at any club for that matter. And then he started coaching in 2016 at Estudiantes. He was at America first as doing the U20s, and then he was the interim coach after he took over for former Real Madrid player Santiago Solari. When he was dismissed, he took things over, but I mean, he bounced on out of there after losing the 2023 Clausura semifinals to Chivas. So yeah, it's rough there, man. It's not necessarily an easy place to coach in Liga MX. They expect results, and they expect results fast. High turnover at a lot of these clubs.
Yeah, it's one of those things too. The expectation level at Club America. I mean, look, they're one of the top two in all of Liga MX, right? But Club America, they spend money to get a lot of different players. So if they're not performing at that level, you're out in a season or two, or I guess,
or maybe even like a handful of games.
I was gonna say, do we call it a half season? Or it's so hard to talk about Liga MX for me because like they consider the Clausura a season, right? And the Apertura a season. Like it's
2 17-game seasons.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. Whereas I feel like if we just went by 17 games, our season would have been over in April the way we were playing games this season. Can you imagine that? But
I love it, Scarf. I absolutely love it. I think it's such a fascinating league. And if it wasn't for MLS and clubs like LAFC, I would have never had any reason to follow it. I mean, my palates are full with Bundesliga, Serie A, Premier League. But man, I'm really loving watching Liga MX. It's a ton of fun.
No, it is really cool. And I like the idea of you have like a first half champion and a second half champion. And it's cool because, you can be dog water the first half of the season and then catch fire the second.
And then those two teams compete against each other for the right to play against the champion of MLS. Yeah. So you had Pachuca that won one season, Tigres that won the most recent Clausura, and Tigres beats Pachuca. And then hence here we are fighting them in the Campeones Cup in September. Really cool stuff.
No, it definitely is. Something that's not cool, at least, I mean, look, it's cool for us. But something that's not cool is Herman Berterame breaking his ankle. All right, real quick.
He fractured his foot.
For anybody, well, yeah, sure. For anybody that's squeamish out there, we're gonna go forward one slide, and this is how he broke it. This is how he broke his foot. His foot. Your foot's not supposed to bend like that, people. It shouldn't happen. That's how you break your foot. And as you can tell, it's that sweet turf that he's playing on. That is not grass. That is those rubber little balls that come up on the turf. And that's,
did he have a hat trick that game too against Seattle?
He did.
No. He had a hat trick against Seattle. That was against Portland.
That was against Portland. Yeah. I mean, look at his foot. That's against Portland. He wound up, by the way, playing the full 90. Dude played the full 90 with a broken foot. I don't know at what point it occurred, but he didn't come out. He played the full 90 with a broken foot. Their second leading scorer, right, in League's Cup with 5 goals in League's Cup, but he will not be adding to that total because if we could go back a slide again, we want to reiterate, this is our player not to watch. So we do have one very, very big player to watch, the brand new guy for Monterrey. That would be Sergio Canales. Sergio Canales is worth $15 million on transfer market, and pretty much the rest of Monterrey is worth about $15 million on transfer market. It's pretty interesting. This is a big money midfielder from Spain. And oh, by the way, very good friends with one Carlos Vela, teammates from 2013 all the way through 2018 with Real Sociedad. I mean, Carlos and Sergio go way back, and this will just be his third match, Philly, with Monterrey.
Yeah, and don't forget, he's got another LAFC connection. He played alongside Christian Teo at Real Betis. So don't forget he was there. I mean, he had 10 games at Real Madrid. He spent a nice chunk of change at Real Sociedad and Racing Santander. 11 caps with Spain, as we know. That is one of the best teams in the world. So, yes, a very tough opponent, a very tough guy, and he's just, it's interesting.
We might have to explain to people who Christian Teo was. He's the guy that missed the PK, right, at against Philadelphia. That was Christian Teo. That was his sum total of why people would know the guy who we brought over from like Barcelona and Real Betis. So, oh well for Christian Teo. Look, Sergio Canales. There's not a lot of tape on him with Monterrey because he just got there. but he is a bona fide star of Liga MX. Even though he's only played now, this will be his third match. So this
can that really make him a bona fide star?
Absolutely. Messi's a bona fide star. He's played 4 matches.
Yeah, but that's Messi.
No. But what I'm saying is this guy is really, really good, world-class talent. And so don't sleep on the fact that he only has 1 goal and he's only played a handful of minutes. They just brought him in, and they brought him in to do the things that he's already been doing in very short order. So
yeah, you just have to have a conversation with Gignac about him. He's the one who pretty much sent him packing.
Yeah,
although
right.
some Liga MX teams were probably thrilled to end up leaving the United States because none of them got a home match. Something that the Monterrey president complained about, Scarf. And I would have to side with Tata Martino in the sense that, well, he stated that they knew what they were getting into. They knew what they were doing before any of this took place. So traveling from multiple places, boo flipping who? We do that all the damn time in Major League Soccer. There was the rhetoric that, oh, no problem, we'll beat them. Like, it's funny how the narratives work. Like, they're gonna dominate and beat us in all senses of the word because their league is far more superior than ours. You can say whatever you want, but when things turn around and it does not look good for them and MLS teams are winning, then the complaints about, oh, we had to travel too much come into play. I get it. But at the same time, if a team is good, a team's going to win regardless of where they're competing against. I just think I think it was just a little petty to complain about the traveling this far along in the tournament. You should have complained about it beforehand.
Well, I think Leon was complaining about it beforehand, right? There were
They got stuck in an airport. That's a different story. But I mean, everything else, like everybody knew what they were signing up for.
No, for sure. And look, this was signed off by Liga MX. We can get into that after we win the whole damn thing. And people are complaining about, oh, look, LAFC won a title just because they set it up against Liga MX to not do well. That's all right. We can deal with that. Our next player to watch, we want to talk about Rogelio Funes Mori, the 6th most capped player in Rayados history. And all he's done is score 153 goals for the Striped Ones. And that is by far the most goals of any player in CF Monterrey history. Now, what that also means is he's been around for a long time. So he needs to be good once because he's not as good as he once was. But look, he's still a player that you have to watch out for. This is, if they do happen to put a statue outside of Estadio BBVA of the greats from Monterrey, Rogelio Funes Mori is going to get one of those statues. No player has scored more goals than he has for Monterrey.
I mean, a privileged and storied career. 32 years old, 17 caps with Mexico, even though he is from Argentina. I mean, he played 100 games at River Plate. Like, this guy has seen some ish, my man. And I don't know if you knew this, but he had a brother that played at Everton. So the genetics and the talent that comes out of this family is amazing. I mean, to be the all-time leading scorer in any professional club is quite impressive. And this is a very impressive player on Rayados.
For sure. He scores for El Tri too. 6 goals and 17 caps for them. So very, very, very good player. We got a couple of players that like to play in the midfield, although maybe Cortizo is more of a winger. But Maxi Mesa, he's been with the Rayados since 2018. Look, he can do a little bit of everything. 30 goals, 24 assists with the club. So he's somebody that you have to watch out for. And oh, by the way, every now and then he gets to play with Messi and Argentina. He's got 11 caps for Argentina. And if you can crack the starting lineup for Argentina, you get to hang out with guys like, Leo Messi. I think you're doing okay for yourself. This is a player who is one of those sneaky good guys that we need to make sure that we are always watching out for. Maxi Mesa, one of those players, Philly, that we got to watch. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. And I mean, he's been part of these championship teams. I mean, he was 2021 CCL team of the tournament, been with the club since 2019, another year in which they were successful, 30 years age. Yeah, I mean, their midfield for the most part has stayed intact over the course of the past couple of games in Leagues Cup. There have been changes, obviously, to the forwards. There have been a couple of changes to the defenders, but the midfield has been solid and stacked and consistent, and he's one of those midfielders.
Yeah, a player who, again, has done a lot with maybe not necessarily starting the getting a full 90 is Jordi Cortizo. He has scored for Rayados this season already. And at 27 years old, he's already got almost 200 caps in Mexico's top flight across a couple different clubs. And so he's a player, again, they're not rolling out 19 and 20-year-olds getting regular minutes on this club for Monterrey. They're rolling out some grizzled veterans. And even at 27, when you've got almost 200 professional caps in Liga MX, you're doing something right, Jordi Cortizo.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't have too much to add in. With him, just because, he has an impressive pedigree. Not as impressive as all the other players on the team. Had some time. He's a first timer, really. This is his first year. Played at Puebla. Played for Tijuana, Querétaro as well. I got to ask something.
Yeah.
Between listening to the analyst on MLS and hearing things like, what is the correct pronunciation for this club? I've always thought it was Querétaro. Apparently, I don't know any better than Susanna Collins and people at MLS.
I thought it was Querétaro. Is that not
Querétaro? Okay, so I've been saying Querétaro. Okay, that's good. Look, now we're on the same page.
We're two very white dudes trying to not mess up a lot of these things that we're pronouncing. Let's be very honest. Look, I want to pull back the curtain for all of you out there, for the millions.
And of course, the millions.
Philly and I do agonize on occasion just to make sure we don't screw things up with the pronunciation. I know I teach Latin and I've got a decent Spanish accent when I have to. That doesn't mean I'm very good with the pronunciation. Apparently, Ruben says I got that one right, so I'll take it. It is Querétaro, but still, it's one of those things where, as long as you guys understand, Philly and I are doing our damn best with a lot of these pronunciations, and we're trying, and we love you for it. So thank you for not hating us when we get something wrong. Let's go to the next slide.
Go to the videotape.
All right, Philly, you want to talk a whole lot about Jesus Gallardo, mainly because I didn't do any research on him.
Then that's a very darn good reason to start talking about him. 28 years old, man. I wish I was still 28. No, I don't. I wish I knew what I knew and then could go back to being 28. But yeah, been in Monterrey since 2018. I was at Pumas prior. Guys got 91 caps with El Tri, and we talk about that championship pedigree that a lot of the players on Rayados has. He was there in 2019. He was there in 2021, and he was the tournament team in the CONCACAF Champions League in both years. He also holds a very dubious statistics scarf.
Okay.
In the World Cup against Sweden, now this would be back in 2018, he got a yellow card at the 13th second of the match for elbow contact made to one of Sweden's players. It was the fastest yellow card given in the history of the World Cup. So a stat that is rather dubious, a guy that you could obviously get into his head a little bit, and somebody that our boys should try to get in penalty territory relatively easily and quickly because, well, he clearly, yes, I would agree with Roberto Hernandez, a very offensive defender as well, but a very aggressive one that, well, maybe you could get into his head, maybe you could piss him off a little, and if he could get a yellow card in 13 seconds of the game, yikes.
Look, as the memorabilia collector here, if I am him, I'm asking for that yellow card at the end of the match. Like, hey, can I have that? Put it on my wall. Fastest yellow card in World Cup history. You want to talk about guys with a championship pedigree. I know he's 35 years old now, and it would still be nice to be 35, but I know he's 35 years old now. But Hector Moreno, the captain for Rayados, is an absolute baller. He is a center back, and we love our defenders of the bank. This guy is going to be really fun for us to watch defend for Monterrey. He has played everywhere. La Liga, Serie A, the Eredivisie, Liga MX. He's played in the Club World Cup, the Champions League, the actual Champions League, the Europa League, Copa Libertadores. He's got 130 caps with El Tri. He's won the U17 World Cup. He's got 2 gold cups. And oh, by the way, he's smart. He sees the game a little differently. He sees the game kind of maybe a half a step ahead, not quite 2 steps ahead like Giorgio, but maybe a half a step ahead. He's a player that I think can do so much for Monterrey on the back line. He's one of those guys that sees the whole field in the right way and gets everybody set up. Hector Moreno is, he's an El Tri legend.
He is, and he's a legend in Holland as well because he's won 2 Eredivisie for teams not named Ajax,
right?
PSV Eindhoven and AZ Alkmaar. The Mexican players end up going to Holland, and absolutely killing it. Obviously, Chucky Lozano being one of those guys. It's people from Mexico do exceptionally well in Holland, and he's won 2 titles there. Part of Monterrey since 2021. Yeah, He's a smart player. You got to be a smart player at 35 because you can work out, eat right, avoid all the vices of the world. But at 35, you're going to lose a step or 2 or 5 in some cases. And you got to play smart when you're 35 years of age.
Yeah, look, let's head on over to the keeper, Esteban Andrade. Look, he's been manning their back line for quite some time now. 32-year-old Argentine. The dude has had a fun career, Philly. Playing at Boca, playing at Lanús, 55 clean sheets in 93 matches for Boca. Dude had a clean sheet almost 60% of the time for Boca Juniors. That's pretty impressive. He has not been quite as impressive with Rayados, just 36 clean sheets in 80 matches. That's under 50% if you do the math. But the dude is a winner, Philly. He won Copa Sudamerica. He won an Argentine League title with Boca. He's won CONCACAF Champions League with Monterrey. This is a guy who's definitely a solid keeper between the pipes.
And that's the thing. We talked about it earlier. We, compared to them, are a relatively younger team. This is a team with championship pedigree domestically, internationally, in multiple leagues. You've got a lot of Argentinians on here. You got some Ecuadorians. You've got a lot of talented Mexican players on this team. They're big. They're fast. They're talented. They've been on this team together for quite some time. I mean, this is a team that is built to win time and time again, and a lot of that success has come recently. Like we said, they had their three-peat in the early 2010s, but to win in 2019, then to win again in 2021, whatever is in the waters of Monterrey, Topo Chico, is special because there are special players that play for both clubs, for that matter, for Tigres and Rayados. Oh, yeah, that's true. And he's also 6'4", man.
I like that, but I like Ruben's comment just a little bit more. You know who else are winners? LAFC, the black and gold, absolutely right. Panda, we've talked quite a bit about this club, Monterrey, but it would be fascinating if somebody asked Steve Cherundolo what he thought about Monterrey. And luckily at the press conference, somebody did, and we've got the videotape.
Top team with no weaknesses. It's just a very well-balanced team, very hard team to beat. Also, for me, not a typical Liga MX team. It's a team who you could place in a European league and wouldn't look out of place. They're big, they're strong, they're physical, they're fast. They can play vertical, they can play slow, they can combine. They have some finishers and some excellent defenders. So it's just a very complete team, a very mature team, and a really hard team to beat. But this is why we're playing this tournament, to see these type of matchups, and we are looking forward to it. So we'll do our best to recover and to get some fresh legs on the field Friday night.
I mean, that's Steve saying these guys are damn good. I think the one word I took from that is they're a mature team. Is he calling them old a little bit? I think he might be calling them old a little bit, especially compared to
that would have been a better word to use, I guess.
Yeah, Ruben. We didn't look. We play a lot of young guys.
Yeah, no kidding.
This team doesn't even have a lot of young guys to play. Being perfectly honest, so this is a club that is a great measuring stick for LAFC, in my humble opinion, because they've proven over the last decade or so that they are as much the class of Liga MX and the class of CONCACAF as any other club in the federation. So I think if you have a club that has 5 titles already for this is definitely one of those clubs that when LAFC goes up against them, and look, we have the favorable pitch, right? We're playing at home-ish. Right. I know. We'll have our fully throated 3252 out there ready to roll. And as many more of the 22,000 or the 17,000 season ticket holders or the millions
and millions
that can make their way out to Pasadena. Please come to Pasadena. But this is a great measuring stick game for LAFC.
To be the man, you got to beat the man, as Ric Flair would once say. Whoa! I still can never get that high pitch.
You got to try that one more time. That was not a good
I'm not even going to attempt to it. I'm more of a baritone than a soprano in terms of like my voice. But look, here's the thing. If we can beat this team, then I think we're going to win the whole freaking thing, because we get the winner of Nashville and Minnesota next.
Bracket.
What's that? Yeah. Well,
There it
we'll
is.
get to the bracket. There it is. Yeah, we would get the winner of Minnesota versus Nashville. And look, those are good teams too. But let's not kid ourselves. There's nobody on this side. I don't know, maybe Inter Miami. I don't know yet. But Monterrey is the best club in this tournament until we play them. So if we can get past Monterrey, we should have a pretty easy route to the final. And then, hey, we might play Philadelphia. We might play the only other Liga MX team in there. Or we might go up against Messi in the final. Like, wow. Talk about a global stage, a global setting. LAFC versus the Barcelona Old Timers team. It's going to be fun, man. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. Tomorrow, toughest team that we'll face all year until, I would say, Campeones Cup when we play Tigres.
Yeah, look, the bracket on our side, our side was stacked. I mean, León was there and a lot of other good clubs were there. And it's kind of filtered out a little bit differently than I think people might have expected. I don't know anybody that might have had Minnesota United, although Bongo Kule Hlongwane is absolutely crushing things in Minnesota right now. Look, I will always root to play Nashville because there will always be a special place in my heart for Walker Zimmerman. And I'm not trying to overlook anybody. Yeah, Michael, I like what Michael's saying here. We cannot overlook the semis for sure. Nashville and Minnesota, two very good teams. Luckily, we don't have to play both of them. We only have to play one. And so one of them is going to knock each other out. I'm hoping we get to play Nashville, but that's just me. I love watching Nashville and those, although it likely means that we won't be able to see the cool Johnny Cash uniforms because we'll be the ones wearing black. But it's a fun bracket. Obviously, nobody is rooting for Charlotte. Zero people are rooting for Charlotte in this, only because they want the Messi train to keep on rolling. And I think that the Philadelphia match is going to be a lot of fun. Philadelphia is really, really good when they're really, really good, but sometimes they have a tendency to look normal. I'm going to call it right now, though. I think it'll be Philadelphia and Inter Miami playing in one semi, and it'll be us and Nashville. And it's going to be a lot of fun. That's a good Final Four.
Muggsy Bogues. You know, that dude was able to dunk a volleyball. Like, I know I don't know if he could dunk a basketball, whether or not he was too small to palm one, but I've definitely seen images of him dunking a volleyball. I know that famous image of him standing next to Manute Bol. Muggsy Bogues shot it. And, of course, LJ himself. I like him because he was a New York Knickerbocker. Those are two names I hadn't heard in a while. Thank you, Michael, for throwing those out there. That was a fun Charlotte Hornets team. I think that's the last time they were actually even good.
NBA Jam with Alonzo Mourning, Larry Johnson. That was a really fun. That was Alonzo before he only worked out. Like, oh my God. Yeah. Charlotte traded Kobe to us. Vlade Divac for Kobe Bryant. Let's never forget that. Greatest trade in NBA history. All right. We're 42 minutes in. This has been really fun getting to know Monterrey or CF Monterrey from Liga MX. The match is going to start in like 21 and a half hours or so. So real quick, if you're watching this, tell all your friends. Don't forget, like and subscribe. You can check it out on YouTube or anywhere else where you can get all your Defenders of the Bank content, including X, where we are Defend the Bank. Because that's
I was going to say, don't promote that kid, but now I get it. Yeah.
Oh, geez. All right. I like it. Get those likes up, like Michael likes to say. And Philly, I think we have a really cool outro.
That we do. Panda, take it away.
Okay, let's go.